Hello again, it's Sean from Sean's Toy Room, and this is the Skeletor Head number 2. You can see the head here. Ooh, let me turn on the light so you have a brighter view. There you go, that's better. And it came in this package, as you see, and it came with the instructions booklet in full color. Yes, I'm trying to hide the reveal of what it looks like assembled. I want to save that for afterwards, after I take you through the instructions of how I assembled it, because I didn't actually get video of the assembly, so we have to do it the old-fashioned way, the model building slideshow way. So first you assemble the figure, but luckily the arms and legs were already in place. Just had to put in the hip joint and the belt and the padding and the head. And then of course you get all the red pieces. So you start with the 2 red pieces and you build up the scuba tank on the back and the windshield, which I don't know, given the 2 areas, it's not like the windshield formed a watertight seal. You could still get water in between the front and back. How is he supposed to breathe underwater? I didn't see a regulator. Anyway, those were the first 6 steps. And then steps 7 through 9. There you go. See, so you're starting on the base, which was the back of the thing. And at first, yes, at first, I assembled the flippers. And then you turn it right side up again, and you start attaching the random pieces. Now these pieces, this is only a suggestion of where you can put them and how you can assemble them. It's not their final fixed position. And as the critical drinker says, keep that in mind because it's going to be important later. Yeah. And then you start building the pillars. Now these are flexible pillars, and you see the layout. Now that's just as it's laid out at the current time, but this is to have the weapon be flexible. I had to move it away from a peg or 2 away from the green piece for it to actually fit. I had to make sure it went on the round part first, instead of trying to grip around one of the Lego pegs. That was a bit of my mistake there. I fixed it. And then you put together one of the weapons, you see. And I always highlight in blue whenever I do the assembly. And then, there we go. You put it in place. And then you assemble the other weapon, piece by piece, the one that's supposed to go onto the right arm of the figure. And it's supposed to fit. Wait a minute. I see what I might have done wrong. You put the 2 guns on top of each other, and then you have the figure hovering in midair, holding it in the right hand. So the 2 guns do go on top of each other. At least I did that part right. And he can be holding it in his right hand while he floats in midair somehow, above the green pieces. I thought you had to put his chest piece in place. That's my mistake. That's okay. And that's the final piece of how it's supposed to look assembled. And the weapon rotates all over the place and everything, and the figure can move. But you see how it's supposed to be? Why is that weapon on the ground in that picture? And his chest piece appears to go against the weapon. Anyway, that is what I did. Those were the instructions. I will give you a few pictures of what it looks like completely assembled before I show you the final result that I came up with, which to me at least seemed like a better way to do things. So give me a few moments and I'll be back with the final reveal. Be right back after the pictures. All right, as promised, here are the pictures of the assembly of the Skeletor Head number 2. So that was Zodac with his scuba gear. This is supposed to represent a pale blue seafloor with seashells and such. There's the Skeletor Head that everything came in. You can see the figure off to the side. And then you can see the beginning of assembly of various purple pillars, and there's a starfish, and there's a central blue piece with a knob on the top. That will be important later. You see the green sections that you have to put kind of like an L shape. There they are assembled, but they have to assemble around the starfish section. And, you know, instruction pieces again for assembling more of the purple pillars, which you see assembled here exactly like the instructions laid out, but keep in mind that doesn't have to be their final position. And here are the two weapons, the one that goes on his arm on the top, the one that goes on the pillar on the bottom. And here you are assembling. This is showing how they assembled. That's showing how the red weapon assembled. So not all the pictures were taken in precise order. And here it is, the final assembly of the weapon and the figure. And this is where I started realizing you could move the pillars, stand the figure up beside the weapon, and it turned out to be a much better orientation. See, you just move the pillar to the front and then it's not in the way. Now, of course, at first I had the figure holding the weapon, just like here. But then you're going to realize in the final picture, the weapon can be on the blue thing. He doesn't have to be holding it at all. So those are the end of the pictures, and now we'll get to the final reveal video. All right, I'm back again. So you've seen the narrated pictures of how I built the thing. You've seen the Skeletor head and the instructions that I went through step by step. So here now is the final reveal of the reformatted Zodac Scuba attack. So I took his flippers, I put them there. I moved the purple pieces, both the pillars and the little ones, out of the way. I put the two weapons together, which was one of the options, by the way. And I guess that's the handle that his right hand was supposed to grip, and he could be floating in midair, but he seems rather heavy for that. And you can take, if you see, he's standing on his webbed feet, one pillar between the feet, just like you put them on the Motu individual figure stands. Now, if I've done my job properly, I should be able to flip these visors down most of the way. His waist swivels this way, even though he's standing. That is good, because you want to be able to, without him falling off, he's trying to fall off, you see. Come on. Come on. There. Good. See? His visor's down. There's the weapon. Now, I'm going to show you something. If you put the visors back in place and you put him back facing off to the left side. So let's twist his wrist around, hold his feet down so that he doesn't... Good. Now watch this. Take the weapon, you slide it around, right? And it goes up and down, see? You can slide it around almost all the way, so it is pointing at the same place as him. It goes up and down, so it's almost vertical. If it was like this, it would be vertical, see? There you go. And then you bring it around, and it can point. So it can do a full 270 rotation. You can't put his feet on these pegs. These pegs are too thin for that. But what you can do, in direct defiance of the instructions, you see how the bricks are the same on either side? So you should theoretically be able to fit it like that. Or not. Give me one moment here. Should be able to fit it like that on that side as well. It doesn't seem to want to... Oh, see how it's a bit too close? Is it a bit too close though? No, it's pretty flat. There you go. There you go. So now we're going to put him on the shelf. And we're going to swing at least the front section down so you can see him. All right, you've got him facing forward because there is nothing inside, not like this one. But if you wanted to have a mirror image, say, of the two figures, you could have them like that, because you should have the bad guy facing off against the good guy. And Zodac has his weapon aiming at Trapjaw's weapon. So that's quite good there. And if we just move a couple of things out of the way, we should be able to get the thumbnail of the uninterrupted, which I will crop later. So that's about the final reveal for the second Skeletor head of 3. So that'll be released maybe next week, because I have the final part of the toy haul to reveal this week on Sean's toy room. So we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.